Once upon a time, in a golden kingdom surrounded by rivers and mountains, there lived a king named Rajveer. At first glance, he was everything a monarch should be: tall, handsome, adorned in silk robes, and crowned with a jewel-studded crown. The people of his land expected him to be brave, noble, and wise. But alas, King Rajveer was none of these things. His heart was not set on ruling his kingdom, nor on protecting his people. Instead, his mind wandered endlessly toward one particular weakness: beautiful women. He was not cruel like tyrants who burned villages or destroyed lands. No, his tyranny was of another kind. He could never resist the sparkle in a maiden's eyes, the charm of a smile, or the grace of a dancer twirling in the court. While ministers worried about taxes and soldiers trained for war, Rajveer only dreamed of how to impress the next beauty he saw. The palace soon became less a place of justice and more a theater of flirtation. Every morning, the king sat upon his throne, not to hear petitions of farmers or merchants, but to watch the noble women stroll by. Painters worked day and night to create portraits of every maiden who caught his eye. His ministers grew tired. "Your Majesty," one complained, "the treasury is half empty. Bandits attack traders on the highways. What shall we do?" But Rajveer simply yawned and said, "Ah yes, the treasury. Perhaps we can invite the merchant's daughter for dinner. She is said to have eyes like sapphires. I'm sure she will have some ideas." The minister nearly fainted. Now, Queen Mira, his official wife, was a woman of great intelligence and humor. She was long tired of her husband's antics, but instead of growing angry, she decided to play a clever game. She knew his weakness well: he had no self-control, and his foolish adventures always ended in humiliation. One time, Rajveer disguised himself as a wandering minstrel to woo the farmer's daughter. He strummed the sitar so badly that cows ran away, and the girl laughed until tears rolled down her cheeks. Another time, he tried to impress a dancer by balancing on one foot while holding a sword. He toppled over and sprained his ankle. The dancer clapped politely but whispered, "The king is more clown than lion," and Queen Mira, she only chuckled. Then came the festival of flowers. Nobles from faraway lands gathered, bringing music and gifts. Rajveer noticed Princess Leela of the Eastern Hills, a beauty with midnight black hair. To impress her, he declared he would compose a poem on the spot. "Your hair," he began proudly, "is like a horse's tail after a storm." The court gasped. The princess burst into laughter. Ministers buried their faces in shame. But Rajveer, convinced of his charm, continued, "Your eyes shine like the lamps in my stables." Now, the entire hall erupted in laughter. Instead of winning her heart, he earned the title of the foolish poet king. Yet strangely, his kingdom did not fall into ruin, for Queen Mira and the ministers secretly handled the matters of state. Crops grew, markets thrived, and soldiers defended the borders, all while Rajveer continued chasing beauty and embarrassing himself. The people found his antics amusing. Children sang songs about the king who tripped over his own crown. Merchants joked that taxes were low because the king spent all his energy chasing women instead of money. One day, Queen Mira decided to teach him a lasting lesson. She invited a mysterious lady from a faraway land to the court. Veiled and graceful, she instantly enchanted Rajveer. He offered her jewels and sang to her, begging for affection. Finally, the lady lifted her veil, revealing not a stranger, but Queen Mira herself, disguised with makeup and costume. The entire court roared with laughter. Rajveer turned red as a ruby, realizing once again that he had been made a fool. Queen Mira smiled and said, "My dear husband, If only you chased wisdom and justice with the same passion that you chase women, you would be remembered as a great king. Rajveer scratched his head. For a moment, he seemed to understand. But the very next morning, he was back in the garden, watching the maidens walk by. And so, King Rajveer was remembered, not as a conqueror or a great ruler, but as the restless king, the monarch who could never resist beauty, yet never truly harmed anyone. His queen ruled wisely, his ministers worked diligently, and his kingdom survived, all while Rajveer lived chasing dreams of love. Centuries later, storytellers still laugh as they recount the tale of the king who could not control his heart. For in the end, it is better to be a foolish lover than a cruel tyrant.